Hi, I'm Callie from CRK Training. Thanks for joining me for another one of our weekly video shows. Last week we talked about reinforcements, what a reinforcement is, why it's so important, not just in training, but also in life, and also how to start using reinforcements. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper, and we're specifically going to talk about positive reinforcement and how we can use it on ourselves. Last week, we talked about a lot of different types of reinforcements. But for humans, psychological reinforcement can be really powerful. Things like praise, recognition from others, or appreciation has a really big positive effect on us as humans. Now, there's been several researchers, and two that I want to talk about specifically, that have confirmed the effectiveness of positive reinforcement in interactions between humans. So the first is the research in the 1970s by Robert and Evelyn Kirkland. So they were studying interactions between teachers and children, and they found that there was kind of a magic ratio of 5-to-1. So when there were 5 positive interactions, basically 5 positive reinforcements from the teachers to the children, to every one a negative interaction in terms of like a punishment or a correction or a criticism, then the children were happy and the interaction between the two was good. But when that ratio of good interactions to bad interactions would start to change, then the happiness of the children and the dynamics of that interaction would start to deteriorate. And then in the 80s, John Gottman, who's a very famous relationship researcher and marriage researcher, kind of confirmed this ratio. So he found the same thing in his research, that between married couples, there was this same ratio of 5-to-1. So 5 positive interactions to every 1 criticism. What I think is even more interesting to us as riders is the influence of our own self-talk and our own focus. So in another study done at the University of Wisconsin, they looked at bowlers that wanted to improve their bowling scores and their game. And what they did is they divided them into 2 groups. So for the one group, they videotaped their game, they edited it to show only the mistakes that they were making and the worst parts of their game. They showed them that, and they encouraged them to really focus on not making those mistakes again. In the second group, they also videotaped their games, but they edited those to show only their strengths and the best parts of their bowling game, and they encouraged that second group to focus just on what they were doing well and what they wanted to continue to do well at. So what's really interesting is when they watched these 2 groups, they found that that second group that focused on the positive really and basically had a positive self-talk and focused on what they were doing good, improved their bowling game and their scores by twice as much as that other group. So how does this affect us as riders, and how could this idea of maybe more positive self-talk or using positive reinforcement on ourselves improve our riding? I think it starts with just noticing the self-talk that you're doing now. So I know a lot of us tend to have usually a pretty negative self-talk. We tend to focus on mistakes that we've made, things that we feel we have to improve, or we beat ourselves up for not being better or not improving our skills faster. But instead, I would encourage you to just notice when you're doing that, but also notice when you do things well. And instead of doing all that negative self-talk and beating yourself up for mistakes, think about the people in that bowling study and instead focus on what you did well. So if you accomplish a new skill, if you finally get the rhythm of the posting trot, or you have a really nice canter transition, give yourself a little mental pat on the back for that and focus on that. So after even you're done your ride or you're done your lesson, make a list of all the things that you did really well and think about those things. And if we look at the research, that's probably going to help your riding and just help your the way that you feel about yourself a lot more than thinking about the mistakes that you've made. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you have a very Merry Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you back next week. We're kind of continuing this series, and as we say goodbye to 2016 and we kick off 2017, I'm going to help you with looking at the accomplishments from this past year and also thinking about where you want to go in 2017. If you're looking for a gift for another horse person on your list, or if you need to give someone some more gift ideas for yourself, we have gift certificates for CRK training. So you can use these for any of the courses that we currently have. We've got a new one, the Effortless Rider, coming out in January 2017. And you can also use these certificates for any of the on-farm events, the camps, or the different clinics that we do here at our farm in Pennsylvania, as well as the online courses. So I'll put a link below. If you would like to get a gift certificate, you can get these in any amount, and we can send them to you digitally, or we can also send you a physical copy that you can put under the tree. So thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for being a part of our community here at CRK Training. If you're watching this anywhere besides crktrainingblog.com, go there now. I've got a lot of other free videos, and we have an amazing community, and that's where all the best conversation and comments happen. So I'll see you there.